Right, the pins are in place. Gary Verbruggen is in place.
Just dropping some resin powder inside his finger holes and then cleaning it off the surface of the ball. That will help him get a good grip.
Well, that's what happens when you've got a good grip.
Excellent start from Team Europe. Jerry Verbruggen right in the 1-2 pocket for the left-hander. Hits them a little bit thin and makes them spin. Lots of cascading.
Yeah, he loves that. He started off with a strike as well in the first Baker. Here's Mike Mullin, who didn't.
Mike opened up his first frame last time in the Baker game.
Not this time.
Not so this time. Another beautiful shot from the left-hander.
So the two lefties have done their jobs.
And with the scores all level after frame one. Here we see Mike's shot in the fabulous rotation on that ball. Bites right back into the pocket.
So here's Lasse Lintilä from Finland. Now he had a nightmare with his first frame in the first Baker. Left it open. Left himself the big four split, if I remember rightly.
That's right, Nick. Yes, it was something quite horrendous.
Not this time. Look at this.
Oh, body language. Come on, look at that. Fabulous shot. That'll make him feel better.
They were 3-1 down, the Europeans, and they so nearly went 4-1 down, but they got themselves out of trouble. And I think Thomas Lee Anderson has just got them refocused a little bit. They got themselves back to 3-all, and Lee Anderson has just said, look, let's start fast in this Baker. Yeah,
they're digging deep, and away they go.
Here's the Texan, Castillo. Let's see if he can keep the streaks going. No, he can't.
No, a little bit outside, missed the head pin very light, and has left himself the 2 and the 4. Nice green ball he's got there, Nick.
Yeah, touch of the Irish about Dino Castillo, I've always thought that. Safely gets the spare.
Spares and strikes is what the Baker format is all about.
I don't know if you saw there, we had an American flag in the audience. There it is. They get everywhere, don't they, those stars and stripes? Tora Torgerson looking to keep this game going. 2 strikes. Can he make it 3 in a row? No, and he's left himself a real nasty split.
That looks devastating, Nick. It's
and isn't that history repeating itself as well? Didn't he have an open frame in the first Baker?
I think you're right. Yes, he did. He did have an open frame, but it was an 8 and 1. This time he's left 6. He's only taken 6 pins out, 4 standing, and they look quite horrible. Difficult spare, very difficult spare. This could be the first open frame for Team Europe. Which is not.
They don't need it.
Not in frame 3, they don't.
Well, he's took 3 of them, but open frame. Brings up Bill Hoffman, who had a strike to kick off in his first Baker. In fact, he's struck both times. That's the unwritten law of 10-pin bowling. When your opponent leaves an open frame, you just jump on them with a strike of your own.
Yeah, Bill seems to have likes this lane. And he's got away with a 9 count there. He was a little bit wide, and you could see him gesturing the ball back to hit that head pin. He's okay. He's going to be happy with the spare. Not the perfect shot, but he's going to get away with it.
Yeah, a bit light on the head pin.
Yeah, referee nearly called a wide.
Should be routine. And is. So the open frame from Torgerson is costly, obviously, but at least it's not a devastating blow. Hoffman unable to jump on him with the strike, but it does put the United States team nominally in front, and it means really that Lee Anderson's got to get back in the strike zone for Team Europe. Only an X will do here.
Yes, Nick, you're absolutely right. He has to come back with a strike. An open frame causing so much damage to the final score.
And there you go. Well, the captain rising to the occasion.
Yeah, that was actually quite a nice shot. You could see he's playing really wide here, down first arrow. Nice and wide. You think it's going long and miss the headpin, but here comes the hook and the rotation. Hits them thin and makes them spin.
Here's Big Tony. He doesn't hit them thin, but he still makes them spin. Like that.
Fantastic. Great strike from the big man.
You know, we talk about Gary Verbruggen being a consistent bowler. I think this fella's the most consistent of the American bowlers, isn't he? He's always there or thereabouts in the pocket.
You very rarely see him have an open frame, and strikes are normally in abundance.
So that strike was important because it keeps the Americans nominally with their noses in front. Long way to go, of course. And Phil Scammell, the Englishman. Well, have we cursed him by saying how well he bowled in the first, Baker?
Well, he's the strike man, slotting in here at number 5 in the Europe lineup. Let's see what he can do.
And that is not quite what he wanted.
Yeah, I couldn't see too much of that. It was a light pocket hit, and he's left a 10-pin in the corner. So, okay, we're going to call it a spare, and here we see the slow motion replay. A little bit high on the headpin there. That 10-pin just standing a bit defiantly.
These are the ones that sometimes get left.
Don't say that, Nick.
Well, he looked down as he let the ball go, and I don't know if he slipped. It was definitely a footing problem there for Phil Scammell. You watch his head as he looks down at his feet as he lets the ball go.
Yeah, he's just stuck there, and he's looked there. You can see didn't get through the ball at all. He's pulled his shoulder and arm to the left, and it's missed on the inside. And that is an open frame, number 2 for the Team Europe.
Well, what is it with Team Europe and this Baker format? I mean, their first one was nothing short of catastrophic. What did they get? 170 something? I mean, it was.
And they're on that score again, Nick. 2 open frames out of 5.
Here's Mac looking to twist the knife. Oh, now what's bothered him?
It's an up and over shot by the look of it. Something's obviously caught his eye, and he's managed to check his approach and stop. It's sometimes, you know, when that ball is swinging, you can't stop it. You go with it.
I think we had a fan come in. Yes, there you go. Somebody has decided it's time to have a move around in the middle of a guy trying to bowl, and that's really stupid.
But professionally, Tim has managed to stop and come back with a strike.
Yeah, well done.
Fabulous. Managed to check himself and then came back, set himself up again, and shot a fabulous strike, which was actually a double for Team USA.
It puts
Score looking a bit sad, I'm afraid.
Well, Gary, just to remind ourselves, had a strike in the first frame, had a strike in the first frame in the first Baker as well, then went 9 spare, so he'll be hoping history doesn't repeat itself. Team Europe needs a strike from the Belgian, nothing less. And would you believe it, history has repeated itself.
Very unfortunate. It was quite a nice shot, right in the 1-2 pocket for the left-hander. Hit him nice and hard with rotation on, but that's 7-pin in the corner again.
And it's the one the left-handers don't like, that 7-pin.
That's right, yeah. They've got to go right across the lane, straighten the shot out a little bit. See how wide he's standing over to the right-hand side of the lane. And he goes sailing across.
Well, he gets the spare. With a couple of open frames already, Team Europe, a spare isn't really very good.
Not when this is the next guy up for Team USA, and he's working on 2 strikes, and it's Mike Mullen. Looking for his second strike in the game.
flush on the head pin and lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, much too high on the head pin. The 2, 4 and the 7 pins are left. Yeah, as you can see, it died much too high.
In terms of degree of difficulty, Cass, this is not the easiest spare out there, is it?
Yeah, but don't forget, Nick, these guys are semi-professional bowlers. They've made this spare hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times in their lives, and they know exactly what to do, and they do it.
Like that.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, he could have made you look really bad there, couldn't he? Now, here's Lasser, who's got to find a strike to keep Europe alive. Time's starting to become a factor here. We get into frame 7.
Yeah, 24 pins adrift are Team Europe with 4 frames to go. Again, we say nothing less than a strike will really do good.
Oh dear, the 10 had other ideas.
Yeah, the acute angle that the ball entered the pocket was the reason that 10 pin stood up. As the ball got to the pin deck, it really drove back into the pocket, and the 6 pin just shot round and outside the 10 pin. Didn't jump out the gutter.
Well, this is the one that Phil Scammell missed. It's the one the right-handers don't really like very much. But is a spare good enough at this stage, I wonder?
Well, let's see if Team USA can jump back on the European side.
Castillo. And an 8 spare to kick off. But he can really reinforce American authority here.
Yeah, this could be turning the screw. Trying to nail the match down.
And he's done just that.
Lots of rotation that shot. It really was nice. Put in a 1-3 pocket and cascading those pins all over the place.
Yep, Dino making no mistake.
Straight down the lane. A little bit of rotation in the back end. 10 pins.
Here's Tora. The open frame last time.
Yeah, had the big split. He'll be looking to sort that one out this time.
Oh, he didn't look happy, and that's why.
Who said big split?
Well, is he just out of luck, or has he just lost his line on the lane, or what?
Well, as I say, Nick, they only get 2 shots in the game. And the first time he threw it high on the head pin and got a split, and he didn't make an awful adjustment from that shot and got the same result. It's a 5 and will be an open frame. Having said that, he gave it a good try.
He really did, didn't he? Just didn't get the break there. But nevertheless, 2 open frames for Tora Torgerson. That is remarkable. You just watch the pin action here. He nearly gets it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he knows he can get that one, but didn't quite get the pin to jump out the gutter. Unfortunately, another open frame for Team Europe, and that's 3.
And they're in danger of actually finishing below their 172 of the first Baker.
Well, I think all seems a bit lost now. They know they've got to strike out off the sheet, but if the Americans do the same, it's all over.
Well, they can jog across the line, can't they? Hoffman can spare here, and they can just really coast home, I would suspect.
Yeah, they're over 40 pins in the lead now. No open frames. Again, like the first game, they're coasting it, making Team Europe not look too good.
And making no errors at all with the spare ball. So up comes the skipper, Thomas Lee Anderson, but that score, I mean, that's a max score available to him, 184. They've got to strike out from here just to better their first Baker score, which was pretty lamentable by their standards. They're in danger of actually clocking up something lower than that.
Well, this game is actually over in the 8th frame. I can't see Team USA being beaten at all here. Nice shot from Thomas. He's got a strike. There's 2 strikes he's made in this game.
Yes, he can't do any more than this, can he?
No, that's right. You get 2 shots and you get 2 strikes. It's the maximum you can do. As I say, it's a team game and everybody has to lock themselves into their shot.
So all Manna really has to do is avoid an open frame.
Well, you've got to strike first time. Let's see what he can do again.
Ooh, well.
Gone fishing. Yeah, that's a horrendous split left there by Tony. Only took 6 pins out. See how wide he's gone. He only just clipped the head pin there. And this is likely to be an open frame. These players don't seem to be getting very much reaction off this wide shot that they're playing.
So, is there a glimmer of hope for the Europeans after all, or can Manna still get himself out of it? Oh, he was close!
Certainly was, mate, yeah.
It was the right shot, just didn't quite get the result, and I reckon it missed by a couple of millimetres. So it means that if Phil Scammell can strike out, it will mean that Mac has got to do a bit of work still. But you'd still, if you're a betting man, you'd be putting the mortgage on the Americans at the moment.
If Phil Scammell doesn't strike, Team Europe lose. He has to strike. He's the anchor man, the number 5th player. And he's working on a strike. He's trying to make amends for the 9 miss that he had in the first frame that he bowled.
There was another little pause there as he went to the line, but no problem at all.
That's 1. Needs 2 more. Trying to get the Team Europe score up to about 180. And if he can, it would make Team USA need at least 1 spare in the 10th frame to win.
If I'd said to you that these 5 guys would struggle to get 180, you'd have laughed, wouldn't you? It really is remarkable.
Nick, I'm sure if you and I went down to the local bowling centre, we could both hit 180.
Well, you, maybe. Depends how many frames you'd give me.
I'd help you out. Yeah, it's not a good score for the Team Europe squad.
Phil trying to get a bit of respectability, and is the 10 going to go? No, it isn't.
No, nice shot, really was, right in the pocket, and Phil knew it. He was looking for the 10, but he got the 10 pin left. Spares this for a 173.
Would you believe that? Well, it's actually better if he gets it than their first Baker. But these 5 guys do not work well as a team. 172 in the first Baker, 173 here. Those are wretched scores for Team Europe.
Certainly are. The only thing that Thomas can take something from is they are actually getting better, albeit only by 1 pin.
Just for the record, Tim Mack needs to find 3 pins from somewhere just to make this certain for the Americans.
I think he could do this with his eyes shut.
And backwards as well.
Buddy bowler boomer. Real TV ball from Tim Mack. Earns himself 2 extra shots in the 10th frame. The game is 1 for Team USA. And they don't look a happy bunch sitting there, those guys in blue, do they?
Why is it? I mean, one bad Baker is an accident. 2, it smacks of something worse, doesn't it?
Well, love it or hate it, it's pressure bowling at the highest level, and Tim's shown how it's done.
Doesn't waste a ball, this fella, does he?
No, he's learning. Every time he throws the ball, he's learning something. And 1 more strike will give Team USA a game score of 201, which in itself for a Baker team match is not a high score, but unfortunately it was good enough to beat Europe today.
They'll finish with an even 200, but certainly good enough. And once again, the Baker's jinx strikes Team Europe. They collectively stink out the joint once again. Team USA take this Baker 200 to 173 and a 4-3 lead